Bonjour class! Today we are going to talk about direct object pronouns. So the first thing that I'd like you to do is on a sheet of paper, take out a pencil or a pen and kind of draw this chart that you see on your screen. So have this top box be a definition, then the next box, facts and characteristics. Then the bottom left is examples, and the bottom right is non-examples. Make sure that you write in the middle of it direct object pronouns, so you can just divide your paper in half and then in half again to get this sheet. All right, so first thing is we're going to talk about the definition of a direct object pronoun. So a direct object pronoun is something that is receiving the action of the verb. So if I wanted to say in English, I like French, French would be my direct object because it's receiving the action of the verb like. So direct objects can be nouns or pronouns. They can be a person, place, or a thing, or they can be a pronoun like he, she, it, one. Direct objects are also replaced by direct object pronouns. So we talked a little bit about what direct object is, and now we're talking a little bit about what direct object pronouns are. So as we go along, make sure that you fill in these notes on your sheet of paper so that way you have them for future reference. Next, we're going to talk about facts and characteristics. So direct object pronouns in French are me, te, le, la, nous, vous, and les. So these 6 pronouns or these 7 pronouns are used as direct object pronouns. So in English, examples, we have me is me, te is you, singular or informal, le is him or it, la is her or it. So it just depends for it on the gender. Nous is for us or we. Vous is for you or y'all, so you formal or y'all plural. And they is for them or it if you were talking about something that's plural. So for example, I could say in English, you give the book to me. So the book would be the direct object because it's receiving the action of the verb to give. So I could say you give it to me. And direct object pronouns are just used to make your sentence a lot less repetitive than it would have been. So this is important in the present tense, keyword, in the present tense, direct object pronouns go before the conjugated verb, or if there are 2 verbs, like there's a conjugated verb and an infinitive, then the direct object pronoun would go before the infinitive. So also, me, te, le, and la are all going to change to the M apostrophe, T apostrophe, or L apostrophe when there's a vowel sound. So keep that in mind. It's not do or die, but make sure that you know that those are going to change so that they still are the same thing, but if you just see the M apostrophe, you know that it means me. It's just abbreviated because there's a vowel. So let's do some exemples. I have some written down, and we'll do some more together. So we have ils vont voir le film, so they are going to see the movie. And we have ils vont le voir. So le film was our direct object because it was receiving the action of to see, the verb to see. So we're going to replace le film with le because that's the gender. So we're going to replace the movie with it, and we needed the correct gender, which is le. It's kind of nice when you have objects because objects will give you the gender. So they'll say le or la or les, and they kind of give you the pronoun that you need. So then in the present tense, since this is in the present tense, I have 2 verbs, so 1, 2. And in the present tense with 2 verbs, my direct object pronoun is going to go sandwiched in the middle before the infinitive. So we have ils vont le voir, which means they are going to see it. Next, we have je vais inviter mes élèves à ma fête. So I am going to invite my students to my party. So we have je vais les inviter, and then in parentheses, à ma fête, because mes élèves was the direct object that was receiving the action of inviter, to invite. So if I took this out, the mes élèves out, my sentence didn't make sense. So direct object pronouns can answer the question what or who. If you can answer the question with that object, then it's a direct object. So keep that in mind. That becomes super important later on. So we end up replacing mes élèves with les because it's plural. So I'm going to invite them to my party. Next, we have I love you. And so you've seen this quite a lot. So I love you becomes je t'aime. So I love, and then the pronoun goes before the verb, je t'aime. And then last but not least is Paul aime les pommes. So Paul likes apples. We're going to take les pommes and replace it with our direct object pronoun because it's receiving the action of the verb to like. So we have Paul les aime. So this time it's going before just the one verb because I only have one verb in my sentence. So some non-examples. Non-examples are je veux du comfort. So when you have partitive articles like du or de or de la, you're not going to use direct object pronouns. Direct object pronouns are not going to be used when you have the partitive. You're only going to end up using direct object pronouns with it or them, never with some. So anytime that you see de la or de or du, you're not going to use direct object pronouns because you're asking about some of that item rather than the whole. Okay, so let's do an example together of replacing some direct object pronouns. So I'm going to just take a new sheet of paper, and on here, we're going to write this out together. So first off, let's start with a sentence. Let's say I have the book. So I have the book. In our sentence in English, the direct object pronoun is the book. This is our direct object because it's receiving the action of have. So now we need to translate this all into French. So we're going to bring this down. I in French is je. And now we have the verb have, which is avoir, and conjugated is a. And now the book is le livre. So le livre. And so this is still our direct object, but now we just have everything in French. So looking at the notes, what are we going to replace le livre with? You're going to end up replacing it with le because it's already there for you. It kind of gives you a hint as to what your direct object pronoun is. So now we have to decide where it's going to go in our sentence. So essentially, when we're replacing a direct object with a direct object pronoun, you're getting rid of the actual item itself because you don't want to say, I have it, the book. You just say, I have it. So now that we have our pronoun figured out, we're going to figure out our placement. So we have one verb here. So because we only have one verb, our pronoun is going to go in front of the verb. So when we rewrite our sentence, it becomes je l'ai. And that means I have it. It might look a little weird, but that's what it looks like. And so these end up switching places. So that's helpful to know. Let's do another example together. So if I have the example, we listen to Madame. So we listen to Madame. What is the direct object pronoun? It's Madame because we're listening to, who are we listening to? We're listening to Madame. It answers the question, what or who? So Madame goes with listen. So let's translate this all into French. So we're going to translate oui is nous. Listen is the verb écouter, which becomes écoutons. So nous écoutons. And then tu is a, and madame is madame. So the tu is kind of connected with the madame. So a madame is still our direct object. So now we need to figure out what we're going to replace a madame with. Well, first we have to figure out, are you a part of it? If not, then we don't need tu, or we don't need te, we don't need vous, and we don't need me, because you are not me. You are not a part of me, and we're not talking about us together. So now we need to figure out if you're talking to specifically me, like you're addressing me, or if you're talking about me. Looking at this sentence, you're talking about me, like you're talking to somebody else about how you listen to me. So to replace a madame, you would end up replacing a madame with la, because it's going to end up being her. So now we need to write our sentence. So we're going to write our subject first, so nous. Now we need our direct object pronoun because we only have one verb, so it's going to go before. So we have nous, la, and then we have écoutons. Now, because I have two vowels next to each other, what's going to happen with my la? It's going to drop the A and become an apostrophe. So nous l'écoutons. We listen to her. I hope this helps with direct object pronouns. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me and I will be happy to go over it with you again.